Welcome to the 12th episode of the Medical Affairs Digest podcast, where we explore how digital innovation continues to reshape the future of medical engagement. Across this series, we've seen technology bridge gaps between science, collaboration, and impact. Today, we turn to a powerful evolution in that story, from data to dialogue, strengthening patient centricity through virtual advisory boards. In this episode, we look at how virtual advisory boards are transforming patient engagement from static data collection to meaningful two-way dialogue. Once limited by geography and logistics, patient voices can now be integrated directly into decision-making, shaping everything from trial design to access strategies. We'll explore how digital platforms such as MphaR's Virtual Advisory Board enable inclusive, compliant, and continuous patient collaboration, driving insights that improve outcomes, strengthen trust, and redefine what true patient centricity means in modern pharma. Welcome to the Medical Affairs Digest podcast. Let's get started. In today's pharmaceutical landscape, patient centricity has evolved from a strategic aspiration to an operational necessity. Healthcare stakeholders, from regulators to advocacy groups, increasingly demand meaningful integration of the patient voice into decision-making. Traditional models of patient engagement, often fragmented and resource-intensive, are being reshaped by digital technologies. Among these, virtual advisory boards, VABs, stand out as powerful tools that transform raw data into actionable dialogue, enabling deeper collaboration between patients and pharmaceutical companies. By embracing digital formats, pharma can bridge long-standing gaps between data collection and authentic patient-centered decision-making. Patient centricity is no longer a peripheral initiative. It sits at the core of regulatory, clinical, and commercial strategies. Patients now expect active involvement in shaping their treatment journeys, from clinical trial design to access pathways. This expectation aligns with regulatory bodies such as the FDA and EMA, which explicitly encourage early and structured patient input into the drug development process. Beyond regulatory imperatives, evidence shows that integrating patient perspectives improves treatment adherence, enhances quality of life, and generates richer real-world evidence. For instance, protocols informed by patient insights often see higher trial retention rates, reducing both cost and time to market. In addition, as healthcare becomes increasingly personalized, patient engagement ensures therapies are not just clinically effective, but also aligned with lived experiences. In this context, virtual advisory boards represent a scalable mechanism to embed patient voice directly into decision-making, offering benefits far beyond traditional consultation methods. Advisory boards have long been a cornerstone of pharmaceutical strategy, traditionally composed of key opinion leaders, KOLs, healthcare professionals, and researchers. While these engagements provide essential scientific and clinical input, they often fail to capture the perspectives of those most directly affected: patients. Traditional advisory boards also face practical limitations. Convening experts in a single physical location is costly, time-consuming, and geographically restrictive. As a result, participation is often limited to a narrow demographic, excluding patients in remote areas or those with significant health or mobility challenges. Moreover, the format tends to prioritize clinical expertise, leaving patient input tokenized or underrepresented. This gap underscores the need for more inclusive, accessible, and flexible platforms. Virtual advisory boards offer precisely this opportunity, enabling broader participation while addressing the logistical and financial barriers inherent in conventional models. The digital transformation of healthcare has accelerated the adoption of virtual engagement platforms, and advisory boards are no exception. Virtual advisory boards leverage secure, purpose-built platforms that allow patients, caregivers, and other stakeholders to contribute from anywhere in the world. Unlike physical meetings, digital formats offer flexibility through both synchronous and asynchronous participation. Patients can contribute at their convenience, accommodating time zones, personal commitments, and health-related limitations. This inclusivity not only increases participation rates, but also fosters richer dialogue, as patients have more time to reflect before responding. Furthermore, virtual advisory boards are significantly more cost-effective. They eliminate travel and accommodation expenses, reduce scheduling conflicts, and can be convened more frequently, making continuous patient engagement a practical reality rather than a one-off event. Importantly, platforms like MphaR's Virtual Advisory Board provide tailored solutions designed for pharmaceutical organizations, ensuring compliance, security, and user-friendly design. These platforms exemplify how technology can elevate patient engagement from sporadic initiatives to a sustained, structured practice. One of the greatest strengths of virtual advisory boards lies in their ability to transform passive data collection into dynamic, actionable dialogue. Traditional surveys or focus groups often generate fragmented datasets that require extensive analysis before they can be operationalized. By contrast, virtual advisory boards create interactive spaces where patient feedback is not only gathered, but contextualized and discussed in real time. Structured insights, such as survey results or patient-reported outcomes, can be seamlessly integrated into moderated discussions. This allows pharmaceutical teams to probe deeper into themes, clarify ambiguities, and prioritize what truly matters to patients. For example, a clinical trial design may initially focus on endpoints valued by regulators, but patient dialogue might highlight the importance of daily quality of life measures, such as fatigue management or treatment administration schedules, that significantly affect adherence. A real-world case study can further illustrate this transformation. In oncology, patient input via a virtual advisory board reshaped trial protocols by emphasizing the burden of hospital visits for treatment administration. This feedback led to the adoption of home-based treatment options, which improved recruitment rates and reduced patient dropout. Such an example underscores how virtual platforms transform raw data points into meaningful strategic decisions, aligning clinical development with real-world patient needs. The adoption of virtual advisory boards generates a wide spectrum of benefits that extend to patients, pharmaceutical companies, and regulators alike. For patients, these platforms provide an empowered voice in shaping therapies and treatment pathways. Engagement moves beyond tokenism to genuine partnership, validating their lived experiences as essential data points in drug development. This empowerment not only builds trust, but also strengthens patients' sense of ownership in their care journey. For pharmaceutical organizations, the benefits are equally substantial. Virtual advisory boards yield deeper insights into unmet needs, treatment preferences, and barriers to adherence. These insights, when integrated into clinical and commercial strategies, drive stronger alignment with patient expectations and result in more successful therapies. Furthermore, by adopting digital formats, companies demonstrate commitment to transparency and inclusivity, strengthening their reputation in an increasingly competitive and patient-conscious market. Regulators also benefit, as virtual advisory boards provide clearer, well-documented evidence of patient engagement. This can facilitate smoother approval processes, particularly when patient input is shown to have informed trial design, labeling, or risk mitigation strategies. Ultimately, the triad of patients, pharma, and regulators gains from more robust and patient-centered decision-making. While virtual advisory boards offer immense promise, they are not without challenges. Ensuring inclusivity remains paramount. Platforms must account for differences in language, culture, digital literacy, and access to technology. Overlooking these factors risks reinforcing existing disparities rather than reducing them. Data security and patient privacy represent another critical concern. Given the sensitive nature of health data, platforms must adhere to stringent standards, such as GDPR and HIPAA compliance. Transparency in data usage is essential to maintain trust and foster long-term participation. Equally important is the facilitation of meaningful dialogue. Without careful moderation, discussions risk becoming superficial or tokenistic. Best practices include training facilitators to probe for depth, ensuring balanced representation across demographics, and providing participants with background material to make informed contributions. Another best practice involves sustaining engagement over time. Advisory boards should not be treated as isolated events, but as part of an ongoing dialogue with patients. Providing feedback on how patient input has shaped decisions is essential for maintaining credibility and demonstrating that contributions are valued. By implementing these practices, pharmaceutical companies can ensure that virtual advisory boards fulfill their potential as vehicles for authentic, impactful engagement. Virtual advisory boards represent a transformative step in the evolution of patient engagement, offering scalable, cost-effective, and inclusive platforms for meaningful dialogue. They bridge the gap between passive data collection and actionable patient insights, ensuring that the patient voice genuinely shapes pharmaceutical decision-making. While challenges such as inclusivity, privacy, and facilitation must be carefully managed, the benefits for patients, pharma, and regulators are substantial and enduring. As patient expectations continue to rise and regulatory frameworks increasingly emphasize engagement, investing in virtual advisory boards is no longer optional. It is a strategic imperative. By leveraging platforms such as MphaR's Virtual Advisory Board, pharmaceutical organizations can operationalize patient-centricity at scale, moving beyond rhetoric to practice. In doing so, they not only enhance trust and outcomes, but also position themselves as leaders in the future of patient